Welcome to Chicago Scholars Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. I have a few housekeeping announcements before we can get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions you have for the presenters at any time. Your camera and your microphone are off so they can't see or hear you. This is one of the many different sessions happening today and tomorrow. Be sure you sign up for some more. This presentation is being recorded and will be available in about a week at strivescan.com/Chicago Scholars. Before we get started, I would like to put the link into the chat for students to complete their attendance form to get credit for your time here. So I'm going to put this in the chat right here. So take a moment and work on that. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our representative from Valparaiso.
There we go. Sorry about that. Everybody, good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me get my screen up here and we'll go and do this. All right, so good evening, everybody. My name is Joel Johnson with Valparaiso University. Thanks for coming out tonight. Looking forward to share a little bit about Valpo with you. So I never assume everyone knows who we are and where we are, but we are Valparaiso University located in Northwest Indiana in the city of Valparaiso, Indiana. If you've never been to Valpo, or as we like to call it, it'll feel like actually a suburb of the city of Chicago. So it won't be unfamiliar to you if you've done some traveling around Chicago. The university itself, we're about 3,000 students strong. We have students that come from all over the United States, a real strong Midwestern presence, no surprise there, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin. But we also draw students from Colorado and the New England area, Florida, California, and then about 4 or 5% international. So you'll meet students from all over the world being a Valpo student. At Valpo, you'll find that you have about 70 different majors to choose from, and they're spread across our we have 4 academic colleges. So the College of Engineering, College of Nursing and Health Professions, the College of Business, and the College of Arts and Sciences is the largest one of the most majors in it. And then we have a 5th college, which is our honors college. It's called Christ College, the Honors College. It is actually an invitation-only honors college and the 3rd oldest in the nation. And so when you apply to Valpo, or even just when you're kind of learning about it, you're kind of an inquiry or a prospect, there'll be different triggers based off your interests, based off of your grades and other things that you're doing that will kind of trigger that invitation. And even if you find, hey, you know what, this honors college sounds great, you can actually connect with your admissions counselor, who actually is me, to help you, get that invitation or learn more about the honors college. So again, 5 colleges, 4 academics that you can choose from. You'll find at Valpo, I believe we're like a semi-comprehensive university. So I kind of put there on the screen a mix of liberal arts and sciences and professional programs. And I think that's a pretty good description of what you'll find at Valpo. You don't have to know exactly what major you want to come in with because we're going to help guide you through that. We have an exploratory program if you truly are uncertain. And then a lot of the colleges have kind of a general business or a general engineering path for you to kind of figure out which actual discipline within the college that you want to pursue. We have, in addition to the 70 majors that I mentioned, we have about 16 4+1 or early entry programs. So that's an opportunity where you can get a bachelor's degree and a master's in 5 years. And that's really a great thing for you because you can save time and money pursuing one of these potential degrees. And they're spread across the different colleges there. I know like psychology has some, computer science and so on and so forth. We do have one 3+2, which is actually our physician assistant program. That is a direct admit physician assistant program where you'll basically complete your bachelor's degree in 3 years. And then the last 2 years of your college experience will actually be your grad portion in that physician assistant study. If any of you are thinking about applying for our PA or our physician assistant program, that program, those direct seats fill up very quickly. So I want to encourage you, apply for that program before September 30th, just to give you the best opportunity at getting one of those direct seats for sure. One of the things we pride ourselves on at Valpo is the opportunity for you to get involved beyond your major. We have a lot of experiential learning opportunities where you'll do things from undergraduate research to internships to working in the community, Those research opportunities are actually offered 3 times a year, across once each semester. So you'll find that you'll be the one, touching the equipment, working alongside our professors in those different projects that you may find along the way. Our students also do things like TEDx talks, and they man their cameras for our ESPN3 broadcasts and so on and so forth. So you'll find at Valpo, you can get involved beyond your major. Don't feel like, hey, I'm the business major, but I can't do this thing over here in theater, or I'm the engineering person, but I can't be involved in our literary magazine. You can get involved in the things that interest you at Valpo. Finally, I want to talk about, again, next steps. We definitely want to encourage you to come visit Valpo if you've never visited. We are doing in-person visits. We also have virtual if you're not ready for an in-person visit. If you visit now over the summer, you'll get a chance to, of course, meet with somebody in admissions, get a tour of campus. And then fall, spring, and summer, we try to get you connected with a faculty member where you can meet and learn about your major from that faculty member. We are test optional for another cycle, so it will not impact you. No majors restricted that requires you to use the test or not use it. Scholarships will not be impacted as well. So if you are that student on the fence, or you're just starting to love with your test scores, you can just apply to us test optional, and we have enough information coming from you to make a solid admissions decision and scholarship consideration as well. Our application, believe it or not, is live right now, fall 2022 rather. You can apply right now. Our application is live. If you're waiting for the Common App, that's fine. That goes live on August 1st. We don't have a preference which application you use. You can use them both. They're both free, by the way, at Valpo as well. When we review your file, we will review you for admission and scholarship consideration. And so you don't have to do a separate application for our merit scholarships. And those merit scholarships actually range from about $22,000 up to $27,000. We have some additional monies that can kick in from the college that your major is in that can bring that number up to as high as about $30,000 for sure. We have our scholarship priority deadline that's listed there on the screen, November 1st. So please make sure that no matter what major you're in, that you apply by or before November 1st to be considered for these additional scholarships. For sure. And then finally, as an Illinois student coming in, you would actually qualify for our Illinois Neighbor Grant, which is an additional $2,000. Just submit your FAFSA and come in from Illinois, and that'll take care of itself. So thanks so much for the time. I look forward to working with each of you. Again, I'm your admissions counselor, email, call, text. Happy to work with you. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you so much. I'm going to put the link for the attendance form one more time in the chat. I got some feedback about it not working. So try it one more time, maybe in a different browser, might be helpful. But next up, we have the University of Miami.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Good evening, students. Excited to be with you all and to share a little bit about the University of Miami. First of all, I want to start with the fact that we are a medium-sized research institution located in Coral Gables, which is the suburbs outside of the city. Similar, I should say, to Joel, I am your admission counselor for this specific region. And so I'm happy to connect with you on a personal note to help you navigate through this process. But when I say medium-sized, understand that at UM, that means 75% of our classes are 27 or fewer, which allows you to have a more personal connection, not only with the professors, but also the peers within your academic disciplines and the things that you are specifically interested in. And they're coming from all over the world. One of the things that I think catches people by surprise is the fact that we are not a public institution. And so we are able to draw intentionally from places outside of Florida. You'll see 62% of this past year's class was non-Florida residents, as well as a sizable international student population. And so again, you'll be able to rub shoulders, understand, learn in a global city. And I'll touch on that a little bit later because of the global reach that we have in terms of our recruitment and where our students are coming from. Beyond sort of the global nature of the student body, it's also from an academic standpoint as well. So you'll see the 9 undergraduate schools and colleges, as well as the 2 graduate schools that we have in the law school and the medical school. But even beyond these offerings, which can seem expansive, maybe even daunting, we really try to make it small once again in sort of your access to a very unique and flexible academic curriculum. And so how we break it down is there are 3 areas of study. This is called our cognate system or our gen ed system at UM. Probably the thing that sets us apart the most. And so there are 3 areas of study you'll see on your screen: STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. We have arts and humanities, and then we have people and society. Sebastian, you'll see in the middle, is our mascot. This is just an example of a way that you can sort of navigate through this academic offerings at UM. And so let's say you major in aerospace engineering like Sebastian, that would cover your STEM requirement. And then you're required to take 3 classes, which is just simply a cognate, in the other 2 sections. So you have arts and humanities, where he's chosen philosophy, and then you have sports communication for people in society. But maybe you can do psychology for people in society, music for arts and humanities, and maybe, I don't know, science for non-majors. That would be my choice for the STEM cognate. But it is entirely up to you, your choice, your education. You are at the will to really see how it best sort of accentuates your academic experience and your goals. I mentioned our location before, about 6 miles outside of downtown Miami. But before you even get to Miami, know that there are over 300 student organizations to choose from, on-campus research that you can do as soon as your first year, to jobs, internships through our Topical Career Center, a wide array of resources, free admission to all our sporting events, but then this amazing internationally immersive city in Miami, which its proximity to Central and South America. Want to also speak to the fact that even right now in our current sort of current events, you will see Cubans, obviously, within the city. They have a huge influence within the city of Miami and their culture within our campus as well. And so you feel that, whether it be in the food, in the festivals, in the music, as well as the sporting events. There is a ton to choose from. And again, over 50% speak 2 or more languages in Miami-Dade County. But that's crazy, because even more so on our campus, you'll feel that as well. So you're really in this kind of global education environment. Just kind of switching gears to the academic side and sort of you having just a glimpse of what we're looking for in our students. And this is based upon last year's numbers once again. But you'll see the averages there. Again, these are averages. We employ a holistic review in our application process, and more of this you can find online. But you'll see quickly, we're exclusively on the Common Application, which, as Joel mentioned, opens on August the 1st. So you can apply, start the application process there, and begin to fill out these remaining requirements. We are test optional for this coming school year. Excited about that once again. And so we've added a supplemental essay to help sort of get a little bit deeper into who you are and kind of your experiences as well. From a financial standpoint, we meet 100% of demonstrated need, and you're automatically considered for scholarships, merit aid when you apply to UM. What does this mean? It means that there's no additional elements that you have to submit for that consideration. That same holistic review that I mentioned, which takes into account all the aspects of our application review, is the same thing that we use for our scholarship review as well. And you'll see here for the need-based aid portion of the financial aid application, you'll have the CSS profile, which helps us to assess need a little bit closer. And it's similar to the FAFSA, if you're familiar with that, just another option and another component, I would say, to our financial aid review process. I mentioned the Common Application opens on August the 1st, but there are some other deadlines that you should be aware of as it pertains to your application to submit it. And you'll see the different options here. Again, miami.edu/admissions is going to be your friend. I'm Charles Kamak, and it's been a pleasure, hopefully getting to know you a little bit better down the road. You can find my information on the website. Again, just a great opportunity to spend some time with you all. Go Canes.
All right, thank you so much. So next up, we have The Ohio State University.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm just gonna pull up my presentation here really fast. How are you guys? My name is Josephine West, and I'm with The Ohio State University. We are a Big Ten Division I school in Columbus, Ohio. So welcome. I'm so glad that you are here today. You know, Buckeyes in a nutshell. So this kind of talks to you a little bit about it. So We have over 200 majors to choose from. So no matter what you want to do, we will have your major at the Ohio State University. We have over 1,000 student organizations. With that, we also have Greek life. So we do have a very active Greek row. We've been around for over 150 years. We are the flagship school of Ohio, the state of Ohio. Outside of Ohio, Chicago is the next biggest for students to come to my campus. I'm turning my timer on so I know how long I have to talk. We have over 200 study abroad programs. So we are, in the top 10 for study abroad. We're really proud of this. We are almost at like 65% of our students study abroad. We're getting closer to 70% with a goal, of course, of everybody studying abroad if you can. We're the, as I said, #1 public university in Ohio, top 10 as far as most innovative publics. And what I'm really, really proud of is that, most of our majors do fall in the top 15 in the country, with our Fisher College of Business actually #7, engineering #12, wonderful nursing school that just ranked #1, pre-med, pre-law, pre-physical therapy. So you will have that undergrad population of about 47,000. And then we also have a graduate population, which brings us to about 65,000. So we are the biggest of the Big Ten. But I'm really proud to say, though, we have a 95% retention rate. So that means 95% of our freshmen come back sophomore year. So a school of our size, that is unheard of. So what that means is that our students are very happy, very supported, and they do return. And another really important fact is that we have the most living alumni, more than any other university. So we have over 550,000 living alumni. And what that means for you is that Buckeyes hire Buckeyes, Buckeyes intern Buckeyes, and Buckeyes give scholarships to Buckeyes. So for our Chicagoland students, we do have a Chicagoland alumni scholarship too. So you will learn from the best. So you will have access to renowned faculty who will challenge you. You will have hands-on world-class facilities. You can do research as early as freshman year as well. So if you are looking for research, that is something you can do from day one. You will be challenged inside and outside of the classroom. So as I mentioned, we are, most of our majors are in the top 15 in the country. So you will be able to make an impact on this world. The best thing for you to do, though, is to find your passion. So right now, I hope you guys are visiting schools because they're opening. We are open for visits. So definitely come to Columbus from here. It's a 1-hour flight out of Midway and O'Hare. It's really easy to get there. You fly into Columbus, 10 minutes away is our campus. So it's really easy to get there, or it's a 5.5-hour drive. But finding your passion. We have some of the best unions. We have a beautiful library. That's a picture of our Thompson Library. So with those 1,000 plus student organizations, you'll definitely be able to get involved and, find your family. The other thing I love about Ohio State is that we are, a champion of change. So very, very diverse culture, very, very diverse city. So that I love about this, the school and the city are definitely mixed together. And that just goes right into this next slide, is that Columbus is the 14th largest city in the United States, but that city is not mixed into our campus. So you have this beautiful green campus with a lake running through it. And then 1.4 miles down the road is this vibrant city of Columbus. It was ranked in the top 10 for most innovative city. It's the 14th largest city. So it's a city where you can hop on the Columbus bus for free as a student and do an internship with a Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 company, work in the Capitol building because it is also the Capitol. So the Capitol building would be 8 minutes from campus. So it's not one of those schools where you'll have to go far to, do other things that are outside of the campus. So of course on campus you have the sports, where in academics, academic powerhouse and a sports powerhouse, won 7 national titles. So you will always have that sports, but then you'll always have that academics, you'll always have that research. And then, 1.4 miles down the road is this thriving city that we're really, really proud of. This shows you an aerial view. Our campus is gorgeous. That's the oval. And when the weather's nice, it's called Oval Beach. Kids are kind of laying in the grass, reading, kicking a soccer ball around, but those paths lead you everywhere on campus. So most important thing for you to know is our application will open August 1st. November 1st is that merit scholarship deadline. So I do encourage you to make sure you get that all in by November 1st. And the other thing is we are as well test optional. So for this year, we are test optional. Thank you, and go Buckeyes.
Thank you so much. So up next, we have Washington and Lee University.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to share my screen there. Good evening, everybody, or good late afternoon to you all in Chicago. I'm so happy to be here and really appreciate your time. My name is Julia Littlefield, and I'm setting my timer here too. I have the pleasure of working closely with our community-based organization partners like Chicago Scholars. So I'm very happy to be here. I think Washington and Lee is a little bit of a unique college option based on some of the wonderful campuses that we've heard about already. We're located in Lexington, Virginia, which is likely a town that you may not have heard of before. We are a small town of about 7,000 full-time residents. And students who are really excited about WNL are the types of students who are excited to be in nature during their time in college and have access to hiking and backpacking and whitewater rafting and mountain biking. And students can come into WNL not knowing how to do any of those things, and they can learn those skills while they're here. We have a very natural, beautiful campus with great access to the outdoors. And the small town of Lexington is a type of place where you can go into the coffee shop and the staff there will know your coffee order. They'll know you by name. It's a type of place where folks will recognize you as you're walking down the sidewalk, and you can really feel that close sense of community. That's not for everybody, but for students who are looking for sort of that familiar feeling, that small town feeling, we're a really great option for those students. We like to say that we're rural, but we're not remote. We're about an hour away from the cities of Roanoke and Charlottesville, 2 hours away from Richmond, 3 hours away from DC. So a little bit of a hike from Chicago, but the university makes it easy over breaks with shuttle buses to get to and from the major transportation hubs around us. One of the things that I want to highlight is our size, because we are a much smaller option than some other schools that you might hear about. We love our small size because it gives students that really individualized experience. So if you have a favorite teacher now, if you have a mentor who has your back, who you can turn to, imagine all of your college professors being that person for you. Our professors really care about individual students. They often memorize the list of names in their class before the first class even happens, so that you automatically have these really wonderful teachers and advisors surrounding you as soon as you get to campus. We do have students from all over the country and all over the world, and increasing the racial and ethnic and socioeconomic and first generation diversity on our campus is our top priority. And so we're really excited to be talking to a lot of different students and communities about the country about WNL. I mentioned sort of the close-knit community, and that absolutely is the case as you think about student life. We have lots and lots of student organizations to join. Community service is a big aspect of WNL student life. We have really wonderful university staff who support students and who are supporting student organizations, as well as residence halls with specific themes. So we have a service theme house, we have an international house, we have an outdoor recreation house, a lot of different options for students to be really creating their own communities and making this place their own as they move through their 4 years at WNL. I spoke a little bit about why we love our small size and the access that students have to their professors, which when grouped together is called the faculty. And this is really unique and something that we love to talk about. Your professors will be your teachers in the classroom, but they'll also be your mentors and advisors. You can see professors who are joining their students for lunch at the dining hall. You'll sit down with your professors in their office and they'll talk to you about summer opportunities or internships, or they'll invite you to be part of their research projects over the summer. Right now, one of our biology professors is with a group of students doing coral reef research. Some amazing opportunities. When your professors really know you, it really opens up some incredible doors for your education. One of the things that we love is, although we're a smaller institution, we have this really wonderful range of academic programs, so majors and minors. We're really proud to offer the liberal arts curriculum where you have flexibility to explore and discover and take classes across the range of the curriculum, but also have pre-professional programs like a business program, journalism, engineering, computer science, accounting, programs that you often don't find at smaller liberal arts schools. So the range of programs is something that we're really proud of. And then two other kind of unique things I'll mention in the next minute is our honor system. So we have a very strong student-run system of honor here where students can trust one another, professors trust students, so you actually don't have to take any of your tests or your exams in a classroom. You can take them at home, you can take them in your dorm room, and that trust is just really foundational to who we are at W&L. And then the last thing I'll mention is that we have a unique part of our academic year called spring term, where you take one class for 4 weeks at the end of the academic year, and that allows students to go abroad to study with groups of W&L students and professors all across the world. And lastly, I'll just mention that we're really proud of the financial aid that we can offer. We meet 100% of demonstrated need without loans, so loans would not be part of your financial aid package. And we also have a really wonderful merit-based scholarship called the Johnson Scholarship, which is essentially a full ride to W&L for 10% of our incoming class. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So next up, we have University of Notre Dame.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you, Jessica, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I'm so excited to share what makes Notre Dame so special with you. My name is Jennifer Pittman. I am one of the admissions counselors in our office and also your area representative. In addition, I work with specifically with CBOs as well, or our community-based organizations. So to get to know a little bit about Notre Dame, we are a Catholic-founded research institution located in South Bend, Indiana, which is a mid-sized town of about 100,000 people. It has this small town feel, but it has also this unique blend where you can get access to different resources as well as options that give you somewhat of a bigger city feel with eateries and as well as things to do. So we do have different like state parks and things of that nature that are in our vicinity. We have about 8,500 undergraduate students and about 4,000 graduate students. In addition to where we're located, we are also in close proximity to Chicago. So we're about an hour and a half away from Chicago. And then we have Indianapolis to the south of us for about 2 hours if you're looking for something of a big city feel to get away from the area. So it's easily accessible. In addition, we were founded by the Congregation of Holy Cross, and the mission was that this college would be one of the most powerful means for doing good in this country, and we've expanded our footprint to be a global footprint, and so now we are one of the most powerful means for doing good in this world. We have a tight-knit community, and that's seen through our 33 residence halls. Students are randomly assigned to their halls. They're randomly assigned to their roommates that first year. There is no Greek life available, but our dorm life is very unique in that it takes the place of what would be like that fraternity or sorority feel. So there are mascots, there are colors, They have signature events they put on. They engage in service together. And so you are required to stay in residence hall for 3 years minimum, but you are guaranteed 4 years on campus living, and 80% of our students live in the residence halls. As you can see on the field, those are all of our first year students representing their halls and repping their colors as well. So just a little bit of a unique blend there. In addition, we have over 500 student organizations available for students. So those range from religious affinities, different religious groups. We have hobbies, different sports, so you can do intramural or club sports, in addition to even just dealing with your area of interest of disciplines. Like I said, we are a Catholic-based institution, so that's Catholic with a capital C, but we are also Catholic with a small c, which means all-embracing. So all faith backgrounds and all walks of life are welcome on our campus. But with regards to Catholic faith, there are over 150 masses per week. We have 60 chapels located on campus. And in addition to that, for those who are not of the Catholic faith, if they do want to exercise their faith, we do have interfaith ministries available to them that also provide transportation to off-site services so that students can still practice whatever their background or faith is. In addition to that, service is a hallmark of what makes our students unique. So they're very social justice oriented and service oriented, and about 80% of our students engage in some sort of service within those 4 years. So you're not only a better student, but you're also more informed, and your discernment and growth is part of the process. We also have an undergraduate focus, which is very unique. So we are a university that definitely has research opportunities for students. We have a 10-to-1 faculty to staff ratio. So that helps with just engaging dialogue during classroom discussions, as well as building relationships with professors. We have a Center for Undergraduate Research with formal research opportunities, as well as informal routes where students build relationships with professors and do get invited to engage with research in that way. We have 6 colleges and schools. Our College of Arts and Letters is the largest and oldest. We have the College of Business, the College of Science, and the College of Engineering. Then we have the School of Architecture, which is a 5-year program, and that includes the 3rd year where there is a requirement for architecture students to travel to Rome for that 3rd year to study the architecture there. So if you weren't considering architecture, maybe that's something that might trigger you to maybe consider it now. And then we have the School of Global Affairs, which is our newest and smallest, and that is a supplemental major only. So we have 75 majors that you could pair that global affairs with and give it a global lens. So some students might major in political science, and it's popular for them to match that global affairs. In conclusion, we have a 98% placement rate. We also have a 98% graduation rate. And in addition, we accept Quest Bridge Coalition and common applications, and you can find us at notredame.nd.edu.
Thank you, everybody, for those presentations. If you're looking for Oberlin College, they didn't make it, but just know we'll be connecting your information to that school also. I'm going to put in the chat area one more time the link to do your attendance form. If you're having trouble, definitely let me know. I'm going to ask all of our presenters to actually bring up their cameras and unmute themselves. We have a few questions that we can answer as a panel. And so the first question that I would love for you to answer for the group is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we're going to answer them in the same order that we presented.
Nice. Okay. I don't get time to think at all. So the advice I would give someone going through the college search process is to really actually lean on your admissions counselor. All of you have an admissions counselor assigned to you. It's normally by your high school, your state, something like that. Find out who that person is, get their contact information, And anytime you have a question about that school, start with them. They're going to be your best resource. That'd be probably the best tip I give you.
I'll just add on to that to say this can be at times a daunting and stressful process. And so I would just really encourage you to remember that this is your final year of high school and to really enjoy that for what it is. You'll end up, I'm very confident with the resources you have, not only through Chicago Scholars, but as Joel mentioned, through your admission counselors, they'll help to fill in those gaps. But don't forget to enjoy your high school experience and to close it out in the best way possible.
Yeah, hi. And I would, so my piece of advice though is to try to stay organized and try to make sure you're meeting all the deadlines because, you know, for us, if you apply after November 1st, you will not be eligible for scholarships. And, you know, that can be a great deal of money. For us, our lowest scholarship is $13,500. So just kind of create an Excel spreadsheet of the schools you want to apply to. I always recommend at least 5. And also just make sure you're meeting all the deadlines.
And I would say that I think it's so easy to, this is kind of along the same lines as Charles, it's so easy to lose sight of the really positive and important things, which is all of the successes that you've had so far that have brought you to this point, and that you'll continue to have in your senior year. And to remember, as hard as it might be, that your college decisions, your admissions offers, your denies don't define who you are as a person. I think always keeping that in mind is really important as we move through this process.
And I agree with everything that everyone has said prior. That's great advice. And I would tag on additionally that fit goes both ways. A lot of times we look at college fit and we're thinking, okay, this is the institution that I want to attend, so I need to make sure I fit there. But to get to the heart of what's going to make your next 4 years the best experience it can be, just making sure that you outline what matters to you in an institution.
I think that's great advice. I think it's important to know that your admission counselor, we talked about the people on the screen, are going to be very influential in your process. They're going to be able to answer your questions. They'll be looking at your applications, things like that. So I think it's going to be really, really important to engage with them. There was a question about that. I wanted to make sure I highlight that. But the next question, if you would definitely love to answer, like, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
I love talking about it. So if any of you come to my presentation, I'll probably bring this up. I always say if you come to Valpo and get out, you know, at some point you're going to do something that gives back to the community, some organization. So we have something called the Dance Marathon. It's a like 12-hour dance marathon for charity for actually Lurie's Children's Hospital in Chicago. So I love that our students, you know, go all in for this. And, you know, last year with the pandemic, it always takes place in April. So last year with the pandemic, it got, well, you thought it would have gotten canceled, but no, they found a way to do it online. And this year, still in the midst of the pandemic, they moved it outside and actually raised more money than ever before, I think about $70,000. And so I love that dance marathon. It's a fun, silly way to have fun, engage in community, and then also help and give back. So I think that's a fun one for us.
For the University of Miami, I would say we have a farmer's market every Wednesday. I'm not shy in saying that my mind is thinking about food right now, so that's probably why it jumps to the top of my list. But all the local eateries from around the community will come on campus every Wednesday from 9 to 3 p.m. So you can start with breakfast and you can have lunch and an early dinner every Wednesday. So I think that's probably the coolest tradition we have every week on campus.
Sorry, I was going to start talking. So we also have DanceAthon. So it's called Buckathon, where we raise money for Lurie's Children's Hospital. So that is an amazing event. And in general, Ohio State, we're full of traditions and events. From, you know, you could pass someone in a Jewel Osco or a CVS. You say, oh, someone will say OH2, you say IO. That's a Buckeye handshake. I can be anywhere and get that. And I love that Buckeyes are throughout the world. And so that's a great tradition. And of course, singing Carmen, Ohio to close out any event, sporting, academic event. It does still give me goosebumps every time I hear it. So we are full of traditions on our campus.
We have a unique tradition that happens every 4 years. So every student can experience it once, and it's a mock convention. So it's a mock political convention for the party that's out of power in the White House. And it's an incredible event where the entire student body gets involved in some really incredible political research. Students take on the role as state delegates, event planners, security team. They're in charge of getting keynote speakers. We had Trevor Noah come to campus right before COVID, so we were able to sneak that in. And it's just this incredible opportunity and community building activity that happens every 4 years. And that's mock convention.
And for Notre Dame, we have this t-shirt that we call the shirt that is designed by students every year. And it ends up being the shirt that people buy and wear in solidarity during football season. And then the proceeds from that go to the cause or charity of their choosing. So I really love that.
All right, one last question for the panel, or a statement, or whatever you like to call it. Give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
Oh, wow. Man, can I pass? Okay, interesting or fun fact about, it's always fun, which one do I choose, fun or fact? I'll say fun. This maybe even ties into tradition a little bit. It was actually in the last slide, in the back of the last slide I showed you, the Victory Bell. Outside of our recreational center is the Victory Bell. It obviously is a huge place for our athletic teams to go and celebrate, but it actually is a really fun thing that takes place at graduation. You'll get a lot of students coming to ring that bell to signify their victory, you know, and graduating from Valpo. So I love that. I think it's fun. I love seeing the pictures about it. I'm sure there's others. I want you to come visit and you'll learn them firsthand what our other fun facts are.
I would say something to look forward to when I hope that we get past the pandemic. We have $60 day cruises to the Bahamas. And so it's a great opportunity to just get out and about and enjoy some sunshine. So yeah. I'm sorry to do that to you, Josephine.
Yeah, that's a great fun fact. So gosh, I'm trying to think of like one, but you know, a few events or fun facts I like is of our 1,000 organizations. When you first come to campus as a freshman, one of the first few days is the All Be in the Oval, and you kind of walk around and sign up for all the clubs and organizations. So one of the things I love the most is there's so much for you to get involved in. So we are one of the few schools that have over 1,000 plus organizations. So we actually have 1,300. So no matter what you like to do, you'll definitely be able to find it on our campus.
So fun fact is I talked a little bit about sort of the outdoor access at WNL and how much students love to get outside. And I've been so impressed to learn that, you know, every couple weeks, a group of students will get up and hike House Mountain, which is kind of the closest peak to our campus, hike up before dawn to watch a sunrise before going to class. And I think that is so awesome and intense and ambitious. And I love when I hear about students doing that to House Mountain.
And I think an interesting fact about Notre Dame is there were two movies that were filmed on campus. And those were Rudy and the Newt Rockne movie, All American. So.
Well, those are some fun facts. So thank y'all so much. Panelists, thank you so much for being here. And students, thank you so much for joining us this evening. When you close your window, there'll be a link for a very quick 4-question survey. We really appreciate your feedback. Also, this is just one of the many sessions happening, so make sure you sign up for some more. In about a week, you'll find this session's recordings as well as others at strivescan.com/Chicago Scholars. Well, thank you. Have a good night.